What's up mga kaguro at mga mag-aaral? Welcome sa panibagong aralin sa General Science. We are now on lesson number 7 and this topic is about human activities that modified Philippine landforms and bodies of water. Ngayong lesson class, titingnan natin kung paano nagkakaugnay ang kalikasan ng tao sa paghubog ng ating kapaligiran. Hindi lang natin naaralin ang natural hazards. Pag-uusapan din natin kung paano binago ng tao ang lupa, tubig at ecosystem sa loob ng libo-libong taon. This lesson explores how natural hazards and human activities interact to shape the Philippine environment. Hindi lang natin titingnan ang disasters bilang natural events. Pag-aaralan natin kung paano nagiging disaster ang isang hazard kapag may exposure at vulnerability ang tao. Understanding this helps learners realize that disasters are not purely natural. They are partly influenced by human decisions, settlement patterns, and environmental patterns. Hindi lang tayo magme-memorize sa lesson na ito. Ang goal natin ay mag-analyze, mag-compare, at mag-reflect kung paano natin mababalanse ang development at environmental protection. Today's lesson focuses on analysis, interpretation, and reflection. Hindi lang ito recall ng lesson. Students are expected to examine evidence, interpret maps, connect past and present environmental changes, and evaluate solution. The ultimate goal is environmental awareness and responsible citizenship. Isipin ninyo, kung biglang mawala ang tao, ano kayang mangyayari sa mga lungsod, dam, sakahan, minahan? This question helps us realize how powerful human influence is on Earth systems. Kapag nawala ang tao, maraming artificial structures ang babagsak dahil wala ng maintenance. Rivers would turn to natural channels, forests might regrow, and pollution levels would decrease. This thought experiment helps you realize that the scale of human influence on Earth is that big. Balikan natin, what is a disaster? Ang hazard ay potential lamang. Nagiging disaster ito kapag naapektuhan na ang tao, komunidad at kabuhayan. Hazards become a disaster only when it affects people, infrastructures, or livelihood. Halimbawa, kung may lindol sa gitna ng disyerto, hazard lang yon. Pero kapag lindol sa lungsod, disaster na siya. This distinction is important because it shows that reducing vulnerability can prevent disasters even if hazards cannot be stopped. Let's now proceed to the human modification of Earth. Hindi lang kalikasan ang humuhubog sa Earth, tao rin. Sa katunayan, isa na ang tao sa pinakamalakas na geologic force sa modern times. Humans are geologic agents like wind, water, and tectonic forces. People reshape landscapes through farming, construction, and extraction. Ang kaibahan lang, mas mabilis at mas malawak ang epekto ng tao. In modern times, human activity is considered as one of the strongest driver of environmental change. Kaya nga, 'di ba, parang nauuso may mga grupo na tinatawag ngayon ng ating era na Anthropocene kasi nandito na tayo ngayon sa iyon natin na Anthropocene dahil nandito na tayo sa punto na dominante na talaga ang tao sa buong mundo. Human activities that modify land and water includes agriculture, mining, aquaculture, damming, and urban reclamation. Let's first discuss agriculture. Agriculture is one of the earliest and most widespread ways humans modify land. Farmers reshape terrain, redirect water flow, and alter soil composition to support crops. While agriculture supports food security, unsustainable practices can lead to soil degradation, erosion, and biodiversity loss. Terraces case study. Ang terraces ay isang example ng human modification in agriculture. Ang terraces ay hindi destructive modification. Isa itong halimbawa ng sustainable engineering na sinaunang Pilipino. Rice terraces demonstrate early engineering knowledge. Instead of destroying mountains, ancient communities reshaped them sustainably. Pinapakita nito na hindi lahat ng human modification ay destructive. May mga paraan na environmentally adaptive and sustainable. Next, we have mining. Mining dramatically alters landforms by removing large volume of soil and rock. It exposes subsurface materials, changes drainage patterns, and can contaminate nearby rivers with sediments or chemicals. If then after mining stops, environmental recovery may take decades or centuries. Mining is one of the most visible landform changing activities. Sa satellite images, makikita agad ang pagbabago ng landscape ng Earth. Mining is one of the most visible impacts on landforms. Satellite images often show large scars on landscape where mining occurs. These areas may suffer long-term environmental damage as soil infertility and water contamination if not properly rehabilitated. Aquaculture. Aquaculture modifies aquatic system by converting natural coastal habitats into controlled fish or shrimp farms. While it increases food production, it often replaces mangrove forests that serve as natural storm barriers and biodiversity habitats. Damming. Dams transform natural rivers into managed systems. They provide irrigation, hydroelectric power, and water storage, but they also disrupt fish migration, sediment transport, and downstream ecosystems. Over time, dams can change the shape of valleys and floodplains. Pag nagtayo ng dam, nagbabago ang natural na daloy ng ilog. Nakakatulong ito sa irrigation at kuryente, pero may environmental trade-offs. Dams are example of human attempts to control natural systems. They help manage water supply and generate electricity, but they also disrupt ecosystems. Kapag nagbago ang natural river flow, naapektuhan ng fish migration, sediment movement, at fertility ng downstream farms. Urban reclamation. Urban reclamation involves filling coastal areas to create new land for development. This process permanently changes marine ecosystem, affect water circulation, and can increase flood risk because of natural coastal buffers are removed. Example nito yung pagtatambak ng dolomite sand at paggawa ng beach sa may Manila Bay. Coastal reclamation effects. Kapag nagre-reclaim ng lupa sa dagat, nawawala ang mangroves at wetlands na natural protection sana laban sa storm surge. Coastal reclamation transforms marine environments into land for development. While expand urban space, it removes natural coastal defenses like mangroves. Kapag nawala ang mangroves, mas expose ang community sa strong storm surges at coastal flooding. Now let's proceed to the timeline of human impact. Habang tumatagal ang panahon, lumalaki rin ang epekto ng tao sa kalikasan. Noon maliit lang, ngayon global na. Human environmental impact has increased over time because of population growth and technological advancement. Habang lumalaki ang population ng pagbabago, ay lumalaki din ang paggamit ng technology, lumalaki rin ang scale ng pagbabago sa kalikasan. This timeline shows that environmental impact is not static. It evolves with human civilization. The first Neolithic period. Human environmental impact during the Neolithic period was relatively limited because technology was simple and populations were small. Land modification mainly involved small-scale agriculture and localized clearing of vegetation, and also use of stone tools. Noong Neolithic period, nagsimula ang agriculture. Ito ang unang malaking pagbabago ng tao sa landforms. Halimbawa, nito ang rice terraces na ginawa para magamit ang bundok bilang sakahan. During the Neolithic period, humans shifted from hunting gathering to agriculture. This change marked the first major transformation of landscapes. Dahil nagsimulang magtanim ang tao, kinailangan nilang maglinis ng lupa, magpatag ng bundok, at mag-imbak ng tubig. On the small scale, this was the beginning of environmental modification. Pre-colonial period, communities developed sustainable land use practices adapted to local environments. Indigenous knowledge system allowed people to farm mountainous terrain and manage water resource efficiently. Next, we have the industrial period. The industrial period marked a turning point when human activities began altering landscapes rapidly. Machines allowed massive extraction of resources, and pollution increased significantly. In modern times, human impact on Earth system is global in scale. Urban growth, infrastructure development, and industrial production modify land, water, and climate simultaneously. Sa modern times, mas mabilis at mas malawak ang epekto ng tao dahil sa makinarya, paggamit ng fossil fuels at mass production. Modern technology allows humans to alter environment rapidly and extensively. Industrialization introduced machines capable of moving mountains, redirecting rivers, and clearing forests in short periods. Dahil dito, mas mabilis ang environmental change noon or ngayon kaysa noon. Now, what are mitigation strategies that can do? We have secondary sources. Ang secondary sources ay mahalaga sa environmental analysis dahil nagbibigay sila ng reliable at scientific data. Secondary sources provide scientific evidence about environmental change. Examples include research reports, satellite images, and scientific journals. Mahalaga ito dahil nagbibigay sila ng reliable data na hindi nakadepende sa personal na opinion lamang. Map comparison skills. Comparing historical and modern maps allows scientists to observe environmental change over time. Students learn that landscapes are not permanent, they evolve. Sa pamamagitan ng map comparison, makikita natin kung saan lumawak ang lusod, lumiit ang kagubatan, o nagbago ang daloy ng ilog. Carrying capacity. Kapag lumampas na tayo sa carrying capacity, nagkakaroon ng environmental degradation. Carrying capacity refers to the maximum number of organisms an environment can support without degradation. Kapag lumampas dito ang population o paggamit ng resources, nagkakaroon ng environmental stress tulad ng deforestation, pollution, at biodiversity loss. Ecological balance exists when organisms interact sustainably with their environment. When balance is disrupted, ecosystems may collapse or lose biodiversity. Halimbawa, kapag nawala ang predator's ecosystem, maaaring dumami ang prey species at masira ang vegetation. Environmental Impact Assessment o EIA. Ang EIA ay parang risk assessment ng kalikasan bago simulan ang proyekto. Environmental Impact Assessment is a planning tool used before projects begin. It predicts environmental consequences so decision makers can minimize damage. Mahalaga ito sa sustainable development dahil pinipigilan nito ang proyekto na makasira sa kalikasan bago pa ito magsimula. Business as usual principle. This principle describes a situation where harmful practices continue without change. Kapag hindi binago ang sustainable habits, tuloy-tuloy ang environmental degradation. Understanding this concept helps you realize why environmental reforms are necessary. Sustainability means meeting present needs without compromising future generations. It requires balancing economic growth, environmental protection, and social welfare. Hindi sapat na kumita lang, dapat iniisip din ang epekto sa kalikasan sa susunod na henerasyon. What are mitigation strategies? Mitigation focuses on reducing environmental damage. Strategies such as reforestation, soil stabilization, and mangrove restoration help repair ecosystems. Mahalaga ang mitigation dahil kahit may damage na, maaari pa itong maibsan o maibalik sa dati. Now let's proceed to the activities or assessment. Activity 1, Analysis Task. Students create an infographic showing one human activity, before and after environmental change, cause of change, one mitigation strategy, and the output format can be poster, digital infographic, slide presentation. So you will create or compare two maps or images and you will identify their three changes, cause, and mitigation solution. For grading your output, this will be the criteria, accuracy, clarity, scientific explanation, and creativity. So these tasks help you develop scientific investigation skills. You will analyze evidence, identify environmental changes, and propose solutions. Hindi lang sila basta nag-o-observe, nag-iisip din kayo ng practical mitigation strategies. Activity 2, Environmental Decision Council. Students must present benefits, risks, and environmental impact final decisions for the planning to build a dam, mine design, and reclaim coastal city. So the skills that should be developed in this debate activity or decision activity is critical thinking, evidence-based reasoning, environmental ethics. Now, let's proceed to the assessment. First, a mountain community cleared a large forest area for farm. After several months of heavy rain, a landslide occurred, which human activity most contributed to this disaster. C. Deforestation for agriculture. 2. A coastal town converted mangrove forests into fish ponds. Years later, residents noticed stronger storm surge damage. Why this happened? B. Mangroves acts as natural coastal barriers. 3. Satellite images of a mining site taken 15 years apart showed large pits, reduced vegetation, and muddy rivers. What environmental change is most evident? B. Soil erosion and sedimentation. 4. A government plans to build a dam upstream. Which environmental impact should be studied first in an environmental impact assessment or EIA? B. Fish migration and downstream waters. 5. A student compares a 1900 map with a modern satellite image and notices a river change direction. What is the most likely cause? B. Human modification such as damming or dredging. 6. A mining company proposes planting trees after excavation. What type of environmental strategy is this? B. Mitigation. 7. An inland or island city expand its shoreline by adding artificial land for buildings. Which environmental consequence is most likely? E. Loss of marine habitats. 8. During the Neolithic period, human environmental impact was limited mainly because C. Technology was simple and small scale. 9. A barangay wants to reduce disaster risk while still supporting livelihoods. Which plan best reflects responsible environmental stewardship? C. Balanced development with conservation measures. 10. A community's population grows beyond which nearby forests and rivers can sustain. Which concept explain this situation? A. Ecological imbalance due to exceeding carrying costs. Answer this reflection prompt to yourself. How can development continue without destroying nature? Ang tunay na challenge ng modern society ay hindi pagpili sa pagitan ng development at environment, kundi paano sila pagsasamahin. Kapag naiintindihan ng learners ang epekto ng human actions sa kalikasan, mas naging responsible sila sa decision making. That concludes our topic about human modification that help shape the Philippine environment or landscape. Remember this, humans are not separate from nature. We are part of it. And whatever we change in nature will eventually change us. Nature does not need humans to survive. Humans need nature. The choices we make today will shape the environment. Thanks to the development team of the Lesson Exemplar, kung saan ibinase ang ilang parts ng discussion video nito. Once again, I am your online teacher, Sir Franco. Thank you for watching.